I need some better blinds in here. There's that big white line back there. Let me hear you talk real quick.
Yeah. Oh, what? What, just like your lighting? No, I feel the same way. So I have like a window over here. I just have blackout curtains on it because it would just the sun would just be in my eyes while I was streaming, or even just at the computer, and that got really obnoxious. So now I have like this really ugly, like really pale light on me right now. I still want to get that worked out, but
Same girl,
someday.
same. Yeah, I was at a hang with some friends the other day, and one of the guys, he's a gay guy, and he works with sign language sometimes, and so he
Okay.
learned to say "same girl, same," and it's been stuck in my head ever since.
Dude,
But
I actually took sign language in school, and there's only like one thing I remember, and it's like how to say like make me a sandwich or something. Like that's all I fucking remember
and
how
I
to
bet you
do.
use that really maturely too.
Yeah, we could say that.
Yeah.
And the only time it comes up, it's like, oh, you know sign language? It's like, yeah, I could say this one phrase.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like this is the one blackout curtain here, as you can see, the light of God is
Yeah,
behind it, and it
right out there.
even if that one back there was taken care of, the side of my face is lit because there's a stairwell right there, and there's a nice window shining
Oh, so
outside.
you've got some nice natural light all over. See, I hide. I like literally like have blackout curtains on all of my windows.
I don't like it. I don't want it. I wish it could go dark and then the blue would shine all throughout the day because at night this looks really sick.
Yeah, I have the same problem. Well, right now I lit it up a little bit because I want to look presentable in here. But like at night, like it's the purple light coming out from under the desk, and I'll put some color here, and I'll put some color on that wall, and
Yeah,
but like right now it's just like okay, well it's daytime. It actually looks really beautiful out there. It's a shame can't really go outside and do anything fun.
I know, right? Oh man, I hope those notifications aren't making sound. Well, we'll have to take care of that in the future.
I I don't hear anything, but it might be your viewer.
Yeah,
But
it could just be my it could just be the OBS giving me the notification and but not for the stream. Nah, fuck it. If I heard it, they heard it. Never mind. Anyway, uh welcome, I guess. Untitled podcast for now. I thought the Lycan Lounge sounds cute but also a little lame, so I haven't settled on that. So we'll figure that out. But I also get really hung up on projects, and I'll think, oh, I need all the graphics, I need to have everything perfect, 100%
yeah.
scripted. Like it has to be the way I want it right off the bat, or else fuck this, I'm not starting it. I figure fuck it, we'll just jump in and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean that's like the big recommended thing too, right? When like especially like for a lot of first time streamers, they say like, "Hey, don't focus on your graphics. You don't need like a million overlays like that. It gets really complicated to even set up like basic notification.
It
Like don't
does.
worry about that. Don't worry about getting all the graphics, you know. Don't really worry about your branding too much. Just do what you love." And I think too many people get hung up on that. I mean,
I get
even, you know,
I
like
give a
with
lot of
stream
people that advice and I don't take it myself. Like I will say, stop worrying, just get out there, do it, be consistent, and I will
yeah.
fucking still not listen. It's like when someone has a boyfriend or a girlfriend they don't want to leave, and you're like, just do it, get it done, get it over with. But in my end, it's like I'll pussyfoot around it too.
Yeah, and I mean it all depends if you have fun with it too. So like for me, I'm not a professional streamer. It looks like I have a pretty professional setup, but I'm far from it. But it's enjoyable, right? Like I enjoy having a good mic quality. I use my camera for photography anyway, so it was like a pretty cheap, you know, setup to get it used, you know, to use for streaming. So it wasn't too much of an addition. But I mean, how often do you see Twitch streams where they think that spending thousands of dollars on a microphone setup and thousands on a camera and lighting and all of this art and you know they don't even like what they're doing, they're just doing it because it's streaming. And
Yep.
I don't think like I don't know, it just seems like that's not the right way to go about it. You're going to burn out really quick, you're not going to want to do it.
It's weird. I was thinking about this last night. I have a Blue Yeti that like the nano that I bought to travel with. I
Yeah.
have a few tools that I've bought that I didn't really need. I upgraded my webcams and a few other things. And I wonder though how many people just are getting into the streaming equipment because they like it's the new thing for kids to want to do, right? Like as a kid, you used
Yeah,
to want to be a paleontologist or a whale trainer, something like that. And now
something
it's like
cool.
I
Now
want to
I
be a
want to be a
streamer.
YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber. Like how many times have kids said that now? I
Hmm.
mean, even if you walk into like I don't know how recently you've been in either like a micro center or like a Best Buy,
Yep.
they have like a setup, like an area just for streaming equipment now. Like I walked into Micro Center a couple months ago and like right inside the door by the build your own PC, it was nothing but like here's a bunch of like cameras, here's capture devices, here's lighting, like all the Elgato stuff. Like,
Yes, the Stream Deck and all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, the Stream Deck and everything, like right here. And like, look, here's like a setup with like 2 monitors, and look, here's OBS, and like this could be you, and here's like a Yeti, and like the Scarlets and everything. Like, and I think like that's totally the wrong way to go about it.
Definitely.
The quality you should definitely improve over time and invest in your stream. But I think like jumping headfirst into that, I see a lot of that, and it's just really sad. A lot of people spend money on it. Really,
Yeah.
could have used that money otherwise. Buying games, right? Like if I was starting out streaming, and I had $200 to spend, I would rather spend that $200 on different games to play
Mm-hmm.
than spend $200 on a better camera, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it just makes a lot more sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, some people enjoy it too. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who like the setup, like, right? Like they're just enthusiasts.
It's got to be inspiring to some degree. Like just getting this, I've wanted this microphone for 5 years, and I finally bought it. And I will say that having it here, having the little Behringer switch to, adjust my volume, just the look of it and everything, it does it makes you want to use it, right?
Yeah, that too. You get like that whole like, oh man, I've got this such cool setup. I want to use it. Like it would be so cool.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I feel the same way, even just like having like my microphone, like this big mess to talk online. Yeah, I really want to use that. I really want to like go into calls and like, wow, that sounds good. And
yeah, so we might be on the same wavelength here, but I know you and I have been doing a lot of remote work, and getting on my conference calls with this setup and knowing that I sound damn fucking good compared to everyone else. Little happy about that.
I'm working, so like on the topic of like working from home, like I have a completely separate setup here. Different computer, different monitors. I have a different headset that I use. This is its own little world here. So when 4:30 comes, I shut it down. I turn this way, and it's gaming hours, right? Bad screen, good screen. But I remember back in the day, I used to do that. I used to jump on conference calls with this setup, and wow, Cake, you sound like not in a tunnel. Like on like Skype calls where you can actually hear the quality difference. There's always 5 people on cell phones, and then there's me using like a semi-professional like prosumer setup,
a decent webcam and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Consumer webcams are getting real nice though. I mean, obviously, these things. If I think you're using your, are you using your DLR camera?
Yeah, I'm using my DSLR. Yeah, I have it's a pretty high-end camera for photography. It's not really meant for video, but I mean, it works good.
Yeah.
But I mean, like your quality. Are you using a webcam?
Yeah, whatever the top Logitech one is. The 993 or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, like the high-end one. I mean, they're really good. Camera quality, especially for how small it is.
And for $70,
really good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot cheaper than they used to be, like 150. Like
years ago. Price has gone down. There's this now super one that's like a 4K one, but I'm not doing 4K. Like,
no one's doing that on Twitch. Like half the time, like at least if you're non-partnered, you're streaming like 720p just to save everybody the bandwidth.
Yep. But consumer webcams beyond just the Logitech, like the ones built into the MacBook and stuff. These are insanely good.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. Have you seen like how small they've gotten on like the new like Dell laptops? They're like literal pinhole camera.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like an 1/8 of an inch for like the lens. It is incredible how good the tech has gotten.
I remember, now granted I was paying for ruggedization, but I remember buying a camera that was about like a little brick like that, about that thin in 2007 when I went to Iraq for the first time. And I thought, I'm going to take all these cool pictures and I need something really hard that can take the stress. And that thing had like, 9, 10 megapixels? And I paid out the ass for it.
And they were just the little point and shoots with the screen on the back.
Yep. Yeah, nothing fancy. And then what? We have like professional level photography power in our hands every day.
Yeah, it really is insane. Like cell phone cameras. Just the fact that how many people have a high quality camera in their pocket now to capture things is really neat. I mean, even like I'm still using like a 3-year-old phone and it's still taking great pictures too. Like the quality is just that good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I dig it. Oh fuck! So we right before we got into here, you said what are we going to talk about? And oh wait, it freezes if I do that. Oh no!
Uh oh!
All right, we found our first technical technical issue. All right. So if I click outside of that screen, it freezes. We're gonna delete that scene. Anyway, while I'm fixing this, you're like, what are we gonna talk about? I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know. What Cthulhu? Working at home, the
Bidets.
plague, bidets. Okay, so bidets.
Oh no.
My roommate's got a bidet, and they're
Just recently?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay.
Like, and apparently they're really popular right now, and which is cool. And so they get one, and it's one of those. Leak DMs.
Uh-oh.
Good thing we're not saying anything bad.
No gamer words in here.
Nope. There we go. Boom. Fixed ish. No, maybe. All right, give me 1 second. We'll talk about bidets.
We will talk about bidet.
There we go. Okay. So anyway, now I gotta look at it. I'm like, fuck. Anything? Nope. Okay, we're good.
We're good. We're being PG today. We are being good boys.
Yep. So anyway, bidets. My roommate's got one, and I've been using it. And sometimes even if I just go pee, like I'll like turn around and sit down for a second just to test it out, you know,
Just to give it a little test, just to make sure it's still working.
Yep. And so last night I took just one of the shits that you're like, man, I wish I had a bidet for. It was that kind of shit, and I forgot to bidet. I don't know what it was. I was playing with Kane in League, and he was waiting for me. So I was like, I gotta get down there. So I completely forgot to bidet. I still wiped like a human being, but
that's good.
I felt dirty.
That's good.
The fact that I didn't do it I now feel dirty if I forget to. That's not a good feeling.
Do you have like the one that does like the heated water and like the heated seat and everything, or is it just like the little like water jet one?
All of it.
You
It
got the
even
one
has
that
a
goes
blow
like all
dryer.
out. Oh, so you got like the ones they have in Pan and that.
Now it's the blow dryer thing's a little meh. Like it doesn't really.
It's
you're
a
supposed
gimmick.
to sit there for 3 fucking minutes. I'm not sitting there. I will bidet. I will wipe to dry myself off and get any excess, and then we're good.
Dude, that's like 3 more minutes. You could be on your phone. Everybody.
That's how I thought about it, but it's like, you're not supposed to. Hemorrhoids and shit.
Yeah.
But then again,
I mean, there's.
I was doing that before the bidet anyway, right?
Yeah. So exactly, it's like people are gonna sit there no matter what. So. I mean, I know my only experience with bidets was when I was in Japan for 2 weeks. And like I'd never like used one before, and I was like, okay, well, there's buttons here. Like, what do they do? And of course, I can't read anything on them. I don't know what any of the buttons do. There's just like generic pictures. So I like pressed the first one, and I guess it was the female setting, and it sprays the water at a different angle. So that was.
I mean,
that was a little interesting.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was a woman, I'd sit on it backwards. Like,
dude,
is there a reason not to? I've even thought about it as a man having that kind of time with it, but you know, it's a family resource. I can't do that.
It is a family resource. These are G-rated Lycan. These are this is fun for the whole family. Okay.
I don't know. I just thought the idea of having a water jet for your asshole in general had some subset of sexuality to it.
See, I've never seen it that way. I always just thought it's like, hey, you know, this is kind of useful. And also, I mean, compared to the other option a lot of people choose where they, you know, do like flushable wipes where you're not supposed to flush them, and you know, people are doing that. You know, it's definitely a better alternative.
Why call the shit flushable if it's not supposed to be flushed?
Hardcore marketing, dude.
I mean, so do we know that they're really like that they don't degrade?
Yeah, they don't. Like if you go online, I don't do it on the podcast, but like you can go online and you can look up pictures of like sewers that they have had to unclog, and it jams up the pipes, and it's something how it breaks down. There was a YouTube video I watched once on it, so I'm an expert. But it was something like they congeal together, and then they block up pipes, and it takes like a bunch of, they're called like fatbergs because they like mix with other stuff in the sewer system, and yeah, they're really not good. They're really not good. So if you're watching and you're flushing flushable wipes, probably shouldn't do that anymore. It's pretty bad.
It's a bad time, man, for the sewer system, because there are gonna be people using. I mean, with the toilet paper missing, people are flushing paper towels. I guarantee it, right? Like,
yeah. I forget who it was. There was a tweet somewhere by some place in California, and they're like begging people, like, "Hey, please stop flushing like t-shirts. Like, stop. Like t-shirts. Yeah, it was like it said like t-shirts, like napkins, like paper towels, like flushable wipes. Like, I mean, people try to flush like baby diapers. I don't understand how you can. I don't understand
At
that,
that
but
point, I'm gathering grocery bags and I'm having one like little thing. We'll put some potpourri in it or whatever, and it's like, hey, if we have to use something that's unflushable, it goes in here. We take it out every night. Like, make some sort of
yeah, I mean,
compromise.
like trash out, and it's not that much of a big deal. Or like just
What would you like? Let's say I thought about this. Like, doomsday preppers can only have so much toilet paper, right?
sure.
What
I mean, we're finding out people will hoard it very easily right now.
when that runs out and you're still trying to maintain some type of civilization and sanitation, what do you use to wipe?
That's like a really good question. I mean, assuming that you don't go through like a roll of day, right? Right. I don't understand that. Maybe because I live on my own,
Mm-hmm.
but like I would go through like a roll like every other week. Of course, I was going to work a lot and using theirs for free. Um, but I don't understand like maybe people with different medical issues that need to use a lot more and go a lot more, but like it seems like some people like use like a lot, right? Like I
Yeah.
imagine like a 48 pack for yourself as a male
Oh, that's
isn't
lasted me half a
like that's
year.
lasting a long, yeah, like that's lasting a long time. But I mean, like those people do like stockpile stuff like that. I mean, they do buy like hundreds of rolls, and I mean, they're I haven't seen too much other than like the really hyper sensationalized like the stuff you would see on like Doomsday the show.
So I'm curious. I wipe. How did people wipe before toilet paper? So I was thinking about this the other day, and I was wondering if people just went out, took a shit, and just that was it. They just stood up, like no one cared that they had a shit
I
stain.
bet you they did. I almost bet you they did because back then weren't hot trash like with all the processed food we eat and our just bad diets, right? Of just having so much food available to us. I bet you they didn't have problems where like I mean, for lack of a better term, like mud butt probably wasn't too much of a problem.
So, real quick Google search. Nothing vetted. This is one of those list websites. Romans were the cleanest. Wealthy used wool and rose water. That sounds wonderful.
They used wool.
Wool and a lot of people seem to wool and rose water, and others used a sponge attached to a wooden stick, soaked in a bucket of salt water.
That sounds awful. All of those sound really awful.
This sounds awful. The Greeks used clay.
I don't even know how that would work.
I
mean, maybe I don't even know. That's like
okay.
you
Look, these get bad. In coastal regions, mussel shells were used, and sometimes coconut husks.
Oh, that's
Imagine?
like the movie meme. What's it called? The movie meme with the 3 seashells. There you go.
I don't know this movie.
It's it's like some demo. Isn't it like Demolition Man?
I've never seen that.
Oh, there's like a whole meme where like it's in the future and they use seashells.
Yeah, well, apparently that was a thing. Europeans used hands, but they also used fountains with luxury of warm water. People from Islamic cultures used the left hand. That's a pretty well-known one. This is why it's offensive to greet someone with your left hand, is because they use it for wiping their ass. Yeah. Eskimos would use moss or snow. The Vikings used wool. Colonial Americans, and this is where my mind was when I was wondering about it, used the core center cobs from shelled ears of corn.
That I've heard from somewhere. That sounds believable. That sounds painful and really not awesome at all. But
It sounds
like,
better than mussel shells, right?
yeah, I mean, it's also like if you're living on like limited resources, right? Like if you've already got these corn cobs, you're either gonna throw them out or you're gonna use them for something else and throw them out, right? It's not like you're gonna get anything else from that resource at that point. So it's kind of like resourceful.
Have you ever seen one of the old bidets, like the actual porcelain bidets that stand alone?
Yeah, that was always like as a kid, that's what you always like thought they were. Like
Yep.
I didn't even know until like recently, like a couple of years ago, that it was like a whole mounted on thing. Like I always thought it was like you needed like a separate little like separate, I don't know if you call it an appliance, but like a fixture for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when my roommate said we're getting a bidet. And then they got it and installed it, and I'm like, "Oh, I went to a sushi restaurant and saw one of these before. I had no idea."
Yeah, and it just like bolts on. Like I think that's really like it seems pretty easy to install. It's like hook up the water line to it, like you just screw the little thing in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that. Although like they're sold out everywhere as well. Like I thought about buying one with the whole like toilet paper shortage craze, but they're just sold out everywhere.
Oh, that's yeah.
Everybody bought them up. At
Yep.
the moment toilet paper was gone, everyone's like, I got an excuse to get a bidet, and they jumped on it. Like,
But
no, honey, we really need this now.
I haven't had a true no wiper with a bidet though. I mean, aside from the fact that you need to dry it, there's
You
always
still
just
do.
something. There's
You
always
always
something.
still do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just good hygiene too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
shouldn't
But
just
boy,
be,
do you feel clean.
Yeah, you do. It's kind of like taking a shower afterwards. Like you've never feel more clean than ever after that.
Yep.
Like if it's or it's like when you like get out of the shower and then you have to go back to the bathroom. It's like that your day's ruined. Your day is ruined.
I never thought, that's a horrible thing. You get out of the shower and it's like, oh, now it's gonna hit me. Okay, fine. But and now I know I can't flush those wipes that you use for that post shower shit clean. So
Yeah,
the
you're really
bidet
not
is here to
supposed.
save the day.
Hell yeah. Oh, well, maybe we'll see more of them. That would be like, I guess, coming out of this whole pandemic, I think we're going to see a lot of society changes just based out of necessity right now. I think a lot of that's going to be really cool. I mean, we talked about teleworking a little bit ago. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think a lot of people aren't going to go back to work. I think bidets are going to become more normal. I think people washing their hands is going to be a lot more normal too. I mean, how many people now are just washing their hands? Like, I didn't even think about it coming home before. Like, going out and doing errands, like, okay, well, I've touched a bunch of random shit at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I touched a whole bunch of stuff. I went to the gas station. I touched the pump. Like, I went to the ATM. Like, thinking how many sick people interact with that stuff. Definitely makes you think about it more.
The only thing I was thinking about at the ATM is make sure to grab the card holder and ensure there isn't a scanner there.
Yeah, like trying to jiggle for skimmers. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. The only time I think about it is when I go to a convention or something, and then I live on hand sanitizer.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we always hear the joke about like con flu, and it's more than just like gamer cons that have that problem.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure like you and me both have gone to a number of like professional, like enterprise only, where like the ticket to get in is like 4-figure, and it's like all business people, and it's you come home and you still get sick.
It's because it's just a large group of people, like spreading it all around, touching your face, touching your phone. You ever see that? Man, we're not too far from the same age. Did you ever see those Dateline specials about like kids with OCD and shit?
I
or
don't
2020, I think it was.
I've seen like some things, but I don't know exactly that.
So there was this one when I was a kid. I vividly remember this episode. I was like in 3rd grade, and I remember seeing this one that was a girl who had OCD, and she had to keep washing her hands. And what they did to her was they covered her hands in grape jelly, and they made her sit there like this. And,
oh God!
And that thought comes to my mind every time I'm at one of these conventions. I feel dirty immediately, and it doesn't matter what I touch. If like when I pluck napkins from like the Starbucks at the convention center, I pluck the first like 3, throw them away. Sorry, environment, and then I take one there. Like a bunch of stupid precautions because you just feel like unclean the entire time.
Yeah, and I mean, even just like walking around and like you're bumping into people nonstop, and like I like the thing that really comes to my mind is PAX East, and you've been to PAX East, right?
I didn't go in. I just went and hung out with people.
Okay, so inside it's like really really tight. Where like as like TwitchCon, I think you were at TwitchCon. Yeah, you were at TwitchCon with us. Yeah. TwitchCon, there's like a ton of room. Like everyone has like tons of room to walk around and be by themselves. But like in PAX East, like you are crammed next to everybody.
Nope.
You're bumping up next to people nonstop, and it's just like unavoidable.
I like that.
I think it.
Not
see,
not that. I like the TwitchCon part.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, hold on. You like just being bumped into it?
No.
Like being like 6 inches from like a bunch of sweaty gamers?
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see like after this how much all of that, because if you think like how much like the social distancing and the being more preventative in hygiene, I wonder how much of that's going to stick around like post coronavirus, like cons and like, going to Starbucks and, using, the milk thing, right? Like even using the milk thing to
Hmm.
put like more milk in your coffee. How many people have touched that today? Like, I
Yeah,
wonder how much any of that's going to change and stay.
I think it,
Um,
I think it'll be like 9/11. I think there will be a lot of
yeah.
like we'll be very hyper aware of it for a good while after, and then things will relax. But I was in the grocery store the other day. They were spritzing everything with like a disinfectant, wiping it down after every
Yep.
self checkout. I was in a gas station 2 days ago, and I saw a woman literally like it was like clockwork. She went out and she cleaned all the nozzles on all the self serve coffee condiments. So I think we're going to be aware of it for a little while. We'll see, But I think what you said about long term changes, I think that's definitely going to be a thing. Like we were already seeing more hand sanitizer stations everywhere, right? Especially in like
Everywhere.
airports and at these conventions. I think
Yep.
they're just going to be on top of it. I think it's going
They're
to become
just
a
kind of
major
going to be
thing.
one of those things that stick around. Like a thing that comes to mind is like Chipotle. If you
Hmm.
go inside Chipotle, they've had them there for a long time, but now there's like three. There's like at least the one that I go to. There was like one at the door, one like at the line to get the food, and then one once you pay. There were three. Like, I think a lot of that stuff's gonna stick around.
Yeah, and I think this is going to do a lot for medical preparedness. Like we're
I
going to
hope
have a
so.
lot more stockpiles of like these M94 or M95 masks,
Yeah.
things like that. I think that it definitely. I don't remember 2009 too much. I was in Iraq during a lot of the H1N1 stuff, so
Right.
I didn't see it. But as far as I know, we didn't go on lockdown like this, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, I was only in ninth grade at the time, so I was like what, like 15 or 16, probably around there. Well, I'm 26 now, so yeah, I was probably like 15 or 16. And yeah, like I don't even remember like being too afraid about it, or like even my parents telling me like, "Hey, like you need to like be more safe about this." Like I don't remember, but I mean it's the same time as the financial crisis, and there was so much stuff going on
True.
at that time.
Oh
Like
yeah,
just during that time, it was just everything was a mess.
Obama had a rough start.
Yeah, yeah, he did, and especially like coming in with the housing crisis and that flu and yeah, bad
And then
timing.
being Obama, like remember
Oh
thanks
yeah.
Obama.
Yeah, it's like just like people shitting on him just because he's Obama, and I mean, we still have that now. There's always going to be
Oh
those
yeah,
people. Yeah, he
definitely.
definitely. I mean, I was too young to really care at the time. I guess care probably isn't the word, but like it wasn't like my priority. Like I was a high school student.
Hmm.
That wasn't really. I wasn't watching the news every day and following the world. But I don't remember. Like we weren't shutting businesses down. We weren't like there
Yeah.
were no like shelter in place orders for major cities. Even like where I live, like in a suburban area in Pennsylvania, like we're still like I'm under a shelter in place order. Um, like it's wild to me. I never thought I'd ever see that. Like maybe large cities, but yeah, even here we have them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know we didn't have like businesses shutting down, things like that. So it's strange times, right? Like
It really is. Like there's nothing to base it off of, like ever. Like we've never had to stop the economy. We've never had to, you know, grind everything to a halt. There's been lulls, there's been problems, especially during the 2008 crisis,
mhm.
but we've never had to say stop going to work ever. I
Yep.
don't think that's ever happened ever.
Shit's crazy. And the election cycle, what a weird fucking time to come to. Like the middle of that
Yeah.
heated election cycle, I hear a little tittering here and there about, Bernie Bros saying Biden's, going to die, or there's these new sexual assault allegations.
But it's not taking the spotlight. Like it's like
No.
something it's like a tweet you read.
Yeah.
Like it's a tweet you see. And then it's like, hey, is Joe Biden like even a lot like I haven't seen a speech from Joe Biden in like weeks. I
Yep.
haven't seen like a video of him speaking in the longest time.
Oh, he came out. I didn't watch it, but apparently his teleprompter broke and he had some fumbly moments, and so of course everyone was on top of that one.
Of
But
course.
no, exactly. Like I'm not hearing shit about it, and this was all I've heard for months. Every fucking primary was just
Yeah.
like a boost. Like oh yes, excited again, excited again. There were one after another, and now dead. Like we're talking Corona, we're talking the future, but this is regardless of what side you're on, one of the craziest and most significant elections in a long time.
Is happening during the midst of this. And I kind of wonder about it with I try not to be too political, but like one of the big things that I'm thinking about is there's always the saying of like a wartime president almost always gets reelected.
Hmm.
So like Bush in 2004, don't really know too much about the past ones, but usually when there's a war going on, the president stays in office for another term. I've almost wondered if Trump is framing this whole pandemic as a war as to boost his electability for 2020.
That wouldn't surprise me. The idea that Trump's trying to um and again, this is just matter of factly said, not with any particular slant, but yeah, he goes out of his way to make comments that bolster his image. Like he doesn't hide that. So the idea that he's doing it here, it definitely doesn't surprise me.
Like his like I've seen like tweets with him saying like we're at war with an invisible enemy, and I mean we absolutely are.
Really going
Which is
for
like
that war angle.
yeah, but he's like definitely like leaning into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered if that's like, because I saw something today and I don't know how credible the data is because of course Trump himself tweeted it, but it looked like, his approval numbers were up, but I haven't looked at the polling source. I haven't looked at other polls, but that's going to be an interesting number to watch through this. I mean, a lot of people are, it seems like even more polarizing, right? So, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are like, no, Trump, you're literally going to kill us all. And then there's other people are like, no, he's handling this perfectly. Like he's going to give me $1,200, right? Like, my Trump, my Donald dollars, my Trump bucks, my neat bucks. There's like how many different like things do we have for it now?
Yeah.
I mean,
do you ever think about politics before the memes? Like
how boring they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, well, part of me's like it used to be boring, but then part of me's like people used to take the shit seriously, and now like Trump comes in with all his crazy names like Crooked Hillary and Sleepy Joe and all that other stuff, and now it's like this has become a part of it. And then now our discourse, like if you and I were to talk, I want to say 20 years ago, or not even like 10 years ago, if you and I were to have a discussion, it would be political idea, back and forth, and now it's like memes and sound bites and all that other stuff, and it's
and it's like I hate saying the both sides meme, but everybody engages. Everybody is engaging in it. I mean, look, you still have Hillary Clinton going on Twitter and being like, "Don't take medical advice from like the president or like something like that." I mean, everybody engages in that now. It's kind of where we're at, and I don't think we'll ever go back to that like super boring, like, oh, well, this is my idea. Well, I disagree with that idea. I don't think we're ever going back.
Society was trending that way for sure, but Trump came and flipped it on its fucking head.
Oh, absolutely. Like the whole the Trumpisms and how he speaks, and it's definitely changed because I mean, even look at how the party, like how the Republican Party will follow behind his sayings of, they'll just parrot the same things. And I mean, Democrats will do it too, right? I mean, when Obama's in office, like everybody pushing Obamacare and everything, but like the rhetoric is like watching like longtime senators go up there and be like, well, we need to keep America great. Like they would have never said that 4 years ago. Well, they would have never said it like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you want to take away partisanship, just like, or like you were saying within the party, like look at the Democratic debates, right? There were so many people looking for those soundbite gotcha moments.
Yes.
And I don't remember that shit from the Bush elections. I don't remember that from Obama. Like every now and then there was like a, John McCain made something during a debate where he said, it's hard to be nonpartisan when you're so far left you can't reach across the aisle. Something like that. And I remember going, oh, get him, John, because I was a big John McCain supporter back then. And but nowadays it's filled with that. Like Amy Klobuchar in particular was like, I'm going to make a joke about everything. I've got one for you, one for you, one for you. And she was always like...
And then I said I'd like to see his hair in a blister. Oh, my God. The one joke.
Yeah. Oh,
but
God.
You're absolutely right. Like it's so everyone is just aiming for like even watching them firing shots at each other when it was just that recent debate with it was just Biden and Bernie and those like shots like Bernie, let me tell you about those super PACs you have, and then like I mean Bernie just completely shot him down, but like he was reaching for like something he could use on like an attack ad.
Yep. Oh God, the debates are fun though. I will say that, like, I've actually looked forward to the debates this cycle more than I ever have. Yeah,
like think back to like I'm thinking to like 2012 when I could first vote, and the debates being on, and then just reading about them afterwards. Like I wasn't like going online and looking for a CNN stream or looking for like a Twitch streamer that's like narrating them along. Like watching along with various Twitch streamers, like especially like Destiny. I love watching the debates with him because it is the funniest thing ever. It's just 10 years, 12 years ago, nobody wanted that. Nobody cared. Like, I think we could even go back and look at viewership numbers, and they're probably way different now. They're probably way higher.
Do you ever wonder, because I think about this a lot, do you ever wonder how much of an impact the Twitch sphere and the Twitter sphere that surrounds it are actually having on politics?
It's hard to say because it feels like a huge echo chamber. Like it definitely feels like lefty Twitter. Like I think even Steven touches upon, right? And I don't really have too much of a strong understanding or really a belief in this. But like, like he says with like the Twitter lefties versus like real life is like like I consider myself a progressive,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of rights for a lot of people, and it's like really like a non-issue to me. But like if you go online and say like, well, I'm a progressive, it's like, well, are you a socialist? Like
You
but
don't
I
know
don't
now.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much of that escapes Twitter, because like there's people that like I talk to and they're pretty far left, and like I had to explain what a tanky was, explaining like, no, like these are people that want like socialism, and they're like, wait, what? No, you're fucking joking, like that's not real. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just a big like, it's just part of the whole filter bubble problem that's going on with media in general, right?
Yeah,
But I
because
but
people
it could
take
just be
themselves
more amplified.
so fucking seriously, and I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm not saying like people like Steven, Hassan, others, that there aren't a lot of good people making good faith efforts to have some sort of political discourse, make some sort of impact. And I like to think that even with my super small following, if I was like, hey, here's why you should support trans rights or something like that, and like one or two people said, oh, that's an interesting take. I think I've changed my mind, and now they're pro trans, or at least not adamantly against it, right? I'd say, hey, that's a
Right.
win. So
Oh, definitely.
like that's good. But then I wonder, like on a mass scale, because with people like Hassan and Destiny with those very large platforms, both on Twitch, on YouTube, and one of them has a Twitter. I think they do have a reach, but when the doom and gloom tone takes over their speaking, I wonder if they ever have some introspective moment and think of how much they actually are impacting, or if they're more full of themselves than they are. And I can't actually say how much impact they're really having.
Yeah, that's impossible. I don't even think like you could measure that, right? Because if you're online and you're looking to talk politics, you're likely to trend towards people you already know. Now, the difference is Twitch, right? Like you said, a lot of stuff on politics wasn't really on Twitch even 4 years ago. I mean, now we have the rise of a lot of political streamers on the platform that started doing politics. They didn't just join Twitch to do politics, but they kind of migrated to it.
Yep.
And I wonder if like those people might have had an impact too. I mean, how many people said no, like, no, you're wrong. I hate everything you're saying. I don't agree with you, and then stop being a viewer. But then how many more people look at it and go, like you said, like changing that one person's mind. How much of that really happens? I don't even know if you could really measure that. But I
Yeah,
mean, right? You would always want to assume you're doing something better or you're making something better. But it's just so hard to quantify.
it is. It is. And you would hope, right? Like you would hope
Yeah.
that you are, if you're putting the kind of effort that a lot of these people are, because they're putting what Mindwaves does 2 podcasts a week. I
Yep.
think, along with joining a bunch of other panel shows. Bastier, does, I think, almost nightly sit downs with his chat.
Yeah.
People
And
like,
he does like deep dives. I
oh
usually end
yeah,
up hosting when I'm done like at night. Like he's usually one of the few people that's still on. So yeah, he's always online. Always.
yeah, he does a lot of good stuff. Lumi, her and I have, or they and I
They
have some
they
diametric oppositions to a lot of things, but I know they're doing a really really good job, and they actually give a shit. That's the other thing, is trying to figure out who's grifting, who's trying to get that clout, who likes to just fight and pick a side, and who actually wants to improve their views, improve the views of their viewers, and just have good discourse. That's the other thing. How many people don't often approach this with the intent to just have that discussion? And I know that gets teased about, like the idea like, hey, we're just having a chat, man, like what they talk about centrists or Joe Rogan or shit like that.
right.
But really, like, why don't people approach it more often with, hey, let's have a conversation?
I think a lot of it turns into there was something I read about how politics has turned into like sports.
Yes.
How like if you have a sports team that you want to cheer for, you're gonna do everything you can to like cheer for that team and like simp. That's such a bad term for it, but like you're gonna simp for that team. You're gonna like be like showing up. You're gonna be like all the games are great. You're gonna be watching everything. And the moment someone says like I like the other team, you're like you're a fucking idiot. I hate you. You suck. Like, and it's a lot of joking, but I mean, I think people get in the same mindset when they talk about politics is they just want to argue their side and I think that's what a lot of it's become, especially as we talked about earlier, it being sensationalized, everyone looking for sound bites, and
Yep.
I think that's where it's going.
And it bleeds into every issue. I think we've become way more partisan every election cycle. We become more
Yep.
and more ever since. I mean, I know I was only in, what was 2000? I was only in 7th grade when the first Bush election cycle went through. But I remember it. I remember it really, really well. And it was, I remember my mom being very conservative and kind of talking about how the Democrats are wrong and this, that, and the other. And I didn't really understand. Then 2004 came around. I understood a little more, and it felt like there was a lot more fighting. I was actually seeing it, but I thought, hey, maybe that's just me getting older. Like, I've thought about this. But then 2008 came around, the Obama election cycle, and I thought things got really bad for that one and 2012. And just became so much more of my team, your team. And now it's hard to
Yeah.
say that's not exactly what it is. That's not almost all it is for anyone that jumps, throws their hat in the ring. Like, people are just going to say, nope, that's bad, regardless,
Yep.
because it's not their team.
Exactly. And I think a lot of that falls under so I have a lot of very conservative friends that are rural, they're rural living, they very conservative mindset, and just with talking with them, it's like they clearly don't like Trump. They're not a fan, but they still voted for him. And
Mm-hmm.
like the whole like they love nothing more than watching people get mad over like make America great again or keep America great. Like they love like the not the sport of it, but like getting under someone's skin by just saying like, like just saying MAGA. Or
Yeah.
like watching people like get mad or like triggered over like seeing like a MAGA hat or
Like those
like
kids in DC, remember that? With the Native American guy?
I don't recall when was
So like
this.
there was that picture in the small video snippet, and it made it look like these MAGA kids were harassing this Native American.
Oh
But these
yeah.
kids just bought those hats to be smartasses because they were on a field trip to DC, and that
Yep.
guy actually ended up like coming up to them and getting in their face. They didn't get in his. Like, but it was portrayed a certain way. It was a moment for people who hate Trump to hate MAGA, to call these kids white privileged assholes, things
Yep.
like
Yeah, I
that.
remember that. Twitter went fucking crazy over that. That got like mainstream coverage too.
Oh yeah, it's celebrities trying to dox these kids and shit.
Yeah, like that is insane to me. But
So
it's like that's where we're going. Like,
yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. I know we're 3 minutes. You have a call in a couple minutes.
I got like something coming up. Like if we want to wrap up like 5-10 minutes here.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's like, well, fuck, where do we go from there? But yeah, politics are fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it really is. And I never even saw myself 4 years ago, like, or even like 8 years ago, like even caring at all. Like I remember, in high school you have like an American government class, and like, okay, some of this stuff is cool and all, but like, how much does it really affect? And then like, I don't know, I feel a lot more interested in it too. But then I question, well, how much am I interested in policies and that versus I want to go watch people get dunked on Twitter, like
I
how much? Because I enjoy that. Like that's I'm not gonna lie, it's a guilty pleasure. It's always funny as hell.
It is, and I find that I think about the same thing when I talk to my mom, because I get real hyper aggressive, and I try to reel it in, but she still holds on to a lot of the same conservative beliefs. She's still, like a lot of social politics that she's not progressed on, things like that.
Yeah.
Beliefs I used to hold, so I very much empathize and understand where she's coming from with them, because she raised me with the same kind of like baseline background. And I get that, but then after fighting with her, I'm like, am I just trying to get her to capitulate? Do I want her to just concede? Or do I actually
Right.
care about changing? And I like to think I do care about changing her mind, but definitely part of me wants her to just say, oh, Jared, you're right. I changed my mind, like on a
Yeah.
big issue.
Like the whole like debate culture, right? I mean, we
Debate me.
saw it. Yeah, we saw this with like a couple years ago with like all the the far rights on like YouTube, where it's just debate culture of just throw up a Google Hangouts, let's get 8 people in a call screaming at each other, and like this got like so many views. I mean, it's not so much anymore, but for a while, like it was just like the sport of just like yelling at each other.
Sorry, did you hear that?
No,
Okay.
I heard like the first word. So
yeah, no, it's crazy. What's also crazy is that I was in debate in high school, and I never thought a time would come where a bunch of adults were sitting on stream like, hey, let's start a debate me,
right,
let's have this discussion.
Yeah, or even just having casual conversations with like friends and that, like, or having like just talking about it average day to day now. I mean, that never happened before. Maybe because the issues have been, the stakes are a little bit higher. The issues are, especially right now with everything going on in the world. I mean, the stakes are really high. But like 5 years ago, like me and my mom, like she's a little. I'm definitely a little bit more left leaning than she is. But like like we text like almost every day about this stuff. It's like a couple of years ago, like that would have never happened. Like that would have we like during like during election season, we probably would have said a couple things to each other. But like now it's just like oh my god, did you hear what Trump said today? And it's like, yes, mom, I saw the fucking tweet. Like I love you, but thank you. Yes, I've seen this.
Do you ever feel burnout
From like politics?
Yeah.
A little. I think towards like the end of the election season in 2016, I was definitely like I was over it. Like even running up to the election, it's like I'm tired of hearing about this. Like Hillary, please stop. You're fucking it up. Like, but it's not something that's like cool, like crucial to like my like I can go without doing political stuff. I
Right.
can go without looking at Twitter for a little bit. I can go without reading CNN headlines all day or reading like politic Reddits. I can go without that. So it's really easy to disengage with. Where like at least in the past with burnout, it's always been things that are like work or like obligations or things that I have to do. Where politics, you and me don't really have like too much of a hand in the game, so it's really easy for me to just go like I don't really want to look at this for a little bit. So it's not like crazy, but yeah, I mean there's times where like I've just like not looked at Twitter for a couple weeks, and it gets to be a lot.
I can't. I'm addicted to Twitter. I have to scroll
It's
through
hard.
it. And now my feed is fucking Bernie Bros.
Yep.
Socialists, which aren't always the same, surprisingly. Fucking great. Like every now and then it's like a crazy conservative thing, but the only reason I'm seeing it is because a bunch of my progressive people that I follow have engaged with it. And fucking Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like the Animal Crossing stuff, I don't really care. And it's just been like driving me. I guess that's how people feel when they don't care about politics, and it's just like nothing but like I go like in Discords and it's like nothing but like pictures of like people switches from their phones. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But people are having a lot of fun with it, and it's a really comfy game in a time we needed. So
I've never played it. But that doesn't bother me as much as the viral tweets that I never asked for showing up in my feed. I want to customize my feed. I get it. They've got this algorithm. They're a business. They need to make it operate a certain way to be good for them and for their users. Yeah. I don't want to see the viral tweets from people I don't follow because it's usually some vapid or poorly thought out shit. And seeing it have 100,000 likes makes me upset. It makes me feel things that a logical human being shouldn't.
You can switch your feed back to show latest.
It switches back.
If you use Twitter enough, like me, it stays. I very rarely ever have to change it off of that now. Really easy to tell, because like you'll just see like random tweets of like, oh, so and so liked this.
Yep.
And then like that's how I know like, oh, time to go switch the algorithm back again.
Exactly. Like they make it easy. Like it's push the button, see latest tweets instead, but it doesn't let you make it permanent.
Yeah, and I think that's of course because right. I mean
they want you to
They want the engagement, right? I mean. Yep. When Instagram switched to just instead of doing like chronological like scroll for top to bottom and switched to algorithmic, like their usage time went up like 4 times or something. It was
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. It's getting people. I mean, it's basically an addiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll admit it. Like first thing I do in the morning is like I probably look at my Twitter notifications before like I look at like my email, or like it's like one of the first things I check in the morning.
So they fixed it, but one of the best things for Twitter, well, that went away for a couple years, was that if you turn on notifications, at least on Android, if you follow people and get a subscription to theirs, you could literally the next morning wake up to all your notifications and just one by one, oh, look at that tweet, swipe, 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 and just get rid of the notifications. But then Android came out with an update on Nougat, I think, and it limited it to 8. So you could only get the most recent 8, and that sucked.
Oh, okay. See, I use an iPhone, so I'm used to my notifications just sucking.
Okay.
iPhone notifications are not good. They're
Another reason for me to not go to iPhone.
I enjoy the phone for everything else. Just iPhone notifications, like they finally have grouping, so they finally like pile up now.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just like one, like every
Randomized.
single thing, but it's still just like really, really awful.
Yeah, Android's pretty slick. It was the grouping though that screwed it, because the groupings were limited to 8 max for an application. But I love Apple products. My work computer, they said you can either have a RHEL or a RHEL laptop or a MacBook. I was like, fucking MacBook, please.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
I love my tablet. I used to use my iPad more than my laptop for work, and nowadays. But it's just the phone, man. I like my back button. That's what I really like.
Oh, see, and that's the thing. I was talking about this on Discord with a few people the other night. I want to be mindful of time here. Maybe we do this on another episode. But like, it's you're so burned into using it, right? So like, I've been using an iPhone for like 5 years or so now. And if you give me an Android phone, I'm lost. I literally like it's like watching my mom use like technology, or like watching my dad try to like learn how to open Facebook on a new phone. I'm like completely like lost. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, where's the settings at? Like, I don't even know where the settings are. I feel like a total boomer. But like, if you give me like an iPhone, I'm like, oh yes, click, 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 click. Like, here's everything. I guess same for like people that use Mac OS, but I just feel like a total boomer. Like when I have to like troubleshoot an Android issue for someone, or like we just did with like getting everyone to work from home. Like I was helping end users like install like multi-factor apps, and I'm like, I have no idea what your phone looks like right now. I'm sorry. Good luck.
I don't know what it is, man, but as I get older, regardless of how much I'm involved with tech in my day-to-day, my job and all that, I still find myself getting this laziness where it's like, I don't want to figure shit out. I just want to work. I totally get the boomer mentality.
And that's how I kind of feel with using an iPhone too. It's like it just like the just works meme. It's true. Like I just want a phone that works and I can text my friends. That's like, and scroll Facebook, or like no, not like scroll Twitter. Like I don't even.
Yep.
I just want something that, and like I can load Reddit while I'm in the bathroom. That's like come on, that's all we're looking for in a phone.
That's it. Well, man, I appreciate you taking time to fucking chat today.
Yeah,
this
dude,
is good
this
shit.
has been an chat.
Yeah. For those watching, thank you for tuning in. This will be up on YouTube soon at youtube.com/LycanGTV. Yeah, is that it? Yeah. And whatever the title is will be the title. At the moment, this is untitled, but if you're looking up and you see a title, that is the title of this podcast. So we'll see what that ends up being. But Cake, hey, thanks for coming. What do you want to shout out your handles?
Yeah, you guys can find me. I go by a couple different handles on the internet. Easiest way is we talked about follow my Twitter, twitter.com/ILiedAboutCake. I post a lot of memes on there. I do cybersecurity stuff, so it's a lot of that, but there's also some Twitch stuff. It's a pretty good mix. Same handle on Twitch. I stream once or twice a week. We just usually do reaction stuff, or we do photography, we do editing, stuff like that. So yeah, you could find me there.
Cool shit. Go follow them, guys. You all have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.